Let me ask you, because we've heard a lot about Walden Woods. What exactly is Walden? Why save it? There's so much out there. There's the dolphins, there's the ocean. What is Walden Woods?
I know there's a lot of things. It becomes a little overwhelming sometimes to try to figure out which thing you're going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's amazing about you is you do all of them.
This is why I have no job.
I don't know where you find the time to sleep. But Walden Woods is sort of the beginning of all these battles that we hear about now. You know, Walden Woods is the first place where our culture asserted the spirit of conservation. In other words, that mankind or humankind should live in harmony with nature and not try to conquer it. You know, it's the birthplace of the environmental movement, really. Henry David Thoreau, back in the mid-1800s, put forth these concepts that have become the cornerstone of the conservation movement and the environmental movement. So I believe in first places, you know. I believe in beginnings, and I believe in trying to preserve places where things started. You know, we get all hot and bothered about Civil War monuments and war monuments and stuff, and we can preserve all that kind of stuff, you know, where sort of monuments to violence and people who died violently and things like that. But it seems to me like we ought to be able to preserve the place where humankind first tried to establish the principle of harmony with nature.
Is that something you look for in your life, harmony? Some kind of balance somehow?
Yeah, I look for it.
Is it hard to find?
Well, yeah, it is. You know, it's hard to walk that middle line between deficiency and excess, you know.
Right. I guess coming out of the rock and roll world, that's true.
Yeah, and living in America.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, we're a nation of excesses, you know. But Thoreau's principle was to live simply, you know. He said, simplify, simplify. Try to simplify your life as much as possible. And Walden is symbolic of all the other battles that are going on around the country, you know.
Now, to me, I know that Henry David Thoreau had a lot of meaning for you, and Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson. The spirituality that these gentlemen have has really sort of taken over a lot of your thinking in the last several years. Was that a surprise for you, that suddenly you were moving in a completely different direction?
No, actually, what has happened is I've come full circle. They had a big influence on me when I was about 20 or 21. And then I moved to California.
Oh, yeah. Where did you come from?
Texas.
Texas?
A small town of about 2,400 people near the Arkansas and Louisiana border over in northeast Texas.
Honey, what were you what were you doing? What were you doing in Texas?
I was sitting at the Dairy Queen watching the trucks go by. I was playing music. I was in a band ever since I was 15. And, you know, went to high school there, and then I went to college for 4 years in Texas. And came out here in 1970.
Right.
With my band, with my buddies that I'd grown up with.
Right.
Not the Eagles. This is pre-Eagles.
Did you grow up with a love of nature? People don't think of Texas as sort of this lush outfit, but... No.
People think of Texas as a desert, you know. They think of cactus and armadillos and cowboys and boiling sunshine. But the part of Texas I'm from is really part of the South. It looks more like this Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi. It's got a lot of beautiful lakes and streams and trees. And I spent my childhood outdoors. You know, all of it. Doing all that Huckleberry Finn stuff, you know, just and catching frogs and torturing small animals. But and my dad farmed part-time, not for a living, but for the enjoyment of it, and he made me work in the garden, you know. And, so I realized the older I got that was important, especially after I moved out here and lived in the big city. It was quite a shock.
It was
a big shock for me to come out.
So like you